Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my December TBR chosen by Dart Attack, Christmas edition. So as you can see, Dart Attack is looking a little bit different this month. We've got some Christmas decorations going on, and I have also done a few small rule changes, but before we get into that we need to quickly run through how my reading for last month went. So my reading for last month wasn't too bad. I haven't completed all of the books, but I will quickly run through what I have and haven't read. So these were all the books that were chosen for me last month, plus A Court of Mist and Fury, which was rolled over from the previous month. And so we have The Bone Shard Daughter, which was chosen for colour of dark red from the spine, and I haven't read this yet, but I will be reading it this week before the end of November. For series, I chose Daughter of Smoke and Bone, which I am currently reading, so again, will have finished by the end of this week, and therefore by the end of November. For TBR Veteran, I chose An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, which I have read. For the prompt of Rainbow, I chose XX, I don't have the dust jacket on it right now, which I'm currently reading, probably won't finish by the end of November, but as I've made a good start into it, I am not counting it as like a book I didn't read. For fantasy, I chose Blaze Wrath Games, which I've currently DNF'd, so again, I read it, I read about half of it, and I DNF'd it, so it's been read. For randomise, I chose Before the Coffee Gets Cold, which I have read. For match outfit, I chose Middle Game, which I have not read. For fave song vibe, I chose Tales from the Cafe, which I have not read. And then for even page number, I chose Over the Woodward Wall, which I also haven't read. And I have read A Court of Mist and Fury, which was my rollover from October. So the only ones I didn't get to at all are these three, but I am not giving myself a punishment this month. However much I do want to read all of these, I'm not sure any of them are going to be December reads for me, and with it being Christmas, I'm letting myself off the hook a little bit, and I'm not doing any punishments. And from that, we're going to get into why the rules are slightly different for December. So as many of you know, I do 6 throws every month, and then if I get colours 3 times, I have to throw more. This month I'm not doing extra throws. Well, I may do extra throws, but I'm not picking extra books. Whatever happens, I'm only choosing 6 books. That is because December's going to be an extremely busy month for me. I'm going to be moving, I might be starting a job just afterwards, so I'm going to have a lot of prep to do for that. And so I am generally going to be extremely busy, and I really do not want to put some pressure on my reading. I've been in and out of reading slumps for the past few months, and although it's definitely picking up, the last thing I want to do is put a huge amount of pressure on myself for December and ruin my reading again. So I will only be choosing 6 books, even if I get doubles and triples, but I will be doing something else instead. So quickly, you may notice this in the middle. This says gift. This is basically an extra prompt for myself. So instead of getting a bullseye, if I hit that, I will only apply this once in the game, but if I hit that, then I get to buy myself a book, which I then read in December. So instead of just a book off my TBR, I get to buy myself a new book to read just because it's Christmas. It seems like a bit of fun. But if I hit it again, or if I get 3 hits on any colour, and the tally from last month will be going up here, so you can see where I'm at. Some are very close to getting 3. Anytime I get 3, I will be gifting someone a book. So this is where you guys come in. Please drop your Amazon wishlist, book depository wishlist, anything like that down below in the comments. Only obviously do it if you want to, but please feel free to. I'm looking for people to gift books to. So drop your wishlist below. I will also be putting a tweet out looking for people to drop their wishlists there. And basically how many times I end up hitting a triple or getting a colour 3 times, I will be keeping track of that, and I'll be gifting that many books. I'm going to randomly pick some people's wish lists and gift each of you a book. That's my plan. It's the season, why not? And so it's kind of a punishment for me because I have to buy people books, but I love buying people books, and it's a guess I thank you to all of you for supporting Dart Attack so much. So yeah, anytime I get a colour 3 times, or if I hit this more than once, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be gifting you guys some books. So as I said, drop your Amazon, book depository, anything like that wish lists down below, and I will be randomly selecting people to gift some books to. As every month there are a couple of books I really want to get to this month. I do have the second book for READALONG, which is Days of Blood and Starlight, and that is a read-along of the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series by Laini Taylor, which I am running over the next few months, so we need to read the second book of that, but I want to read that anyway. And then I also need to read The Raven Tower for the FAES and Gaze book club, which I'm a host of. Full details for both the read-along and the book club are always linked in my description in case you want to check them out and take part. So I'm obviously going to be trying to get those 2 books on my TBR, but other than that, I don't really know what I want to read, so I'm really excited to see what prompts come up, and therefore what I'm going to have to read this month. So to replace the prompt on dark green, because that's where we ended up last month, shuffling my giant stack of prompts, hopefully without dropping them, we are going to pick one out, and we're going to go with that one. For some reason, I'm exceptionally nervous to throw at this just because it's decorated. Like, it doesn't matter, I've purposely put decorations on it, which if they get a dart in them, it won't really matter. But I guess time for the first throw. The colours that are on double, I've got my list, are red, yellow, light blue, purple, and miss. So those are the ones that if I get them again, I will have to add one, which normally I would avoid, but this time I'm actually quite excited to get because it means I'm gifting books to some of you guys. So let's just throw and see where we end up. No aim this month. I don't care. We're going with whatever we get, but let's go. Dark green. So for the first prompt, I did get dark green, and that was BookTube Loves. Sadly, not a triple, so I'm not gifting any books yet, but I'm hoping we will get to it. And for this, I'm choosing a book which is the beginning of a series that I've been wanting to start for forever, not got round to. To me, feels like a very wintry series, and the fourth book is coming out in January, so I'm going to see if I can catch up before then, and that is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I know a lot of people on BookTube and Bookstagram and BookTwitter love this series, especially Ashley at A Frolic Through Fiction. She loves this series, and every time I see her speak about it, I want to read it even more than I already do. So I'm going to be picking this up. I don't know much about it. I know it follows a girl called Paige, and she's sort of clairvoyant, and it's kind of a dystopian set in London something. I don't really know. I'm very intrigued. I know I love Samantha Shannon, and I've been meaning to read this series for ages. So let's start it in December, I guess. And then replacing that prompt, we are going with, oh dearie me. One day this whole stack's just gonna go flying. Let's go with this one. On to throw number 2. Okay, throw number 2, let's see what we get. Again, I'm not aiming at all because I have no idea where to aim, so anywhere, let's go. Gift! So yeah, that landed solidly on gift. So the second throw did land on our new little area gift, and that does mean if I land on it again, I will be gifting books to you guys. So for this, I get to gift a book to myself to read, and I'm not going to buy it right now because I don't have my phone. Well, actually I do, it's recording. But what I'm going to get is actually Saga Volume 4. I've been really enjoying the Saga graphic novel series this year. I've read the first 3 volumes all this year, and I'm really loving them, but they are not cheap. They're about £8 to £10 per volume, which is obviously quite expensive for quite a quick read, so I always feel a bit guilty buying them. So this is the perfect way to buy it completely guilt-free and also not add too much to my TBR, which is perfect. So for anyone who doesn't know, the Saga graphic novel series is a sci-fi graphic novel series following these 2 people from 2 different races who fall in love, get married and have a child, but their races are at war with each other and hate each other, so they're kind of then hated by both sides, and it's this forbidden romance, political, really interesting series, and I am so excited to continue with Volume 4 in December. So I don't need to replace a prompt this time, that one just stays there, so straight on to throw number 3. Okay, so throw number 3, the first time ever I am wanting to hit colours 3 times. It's not happening, so come on, let's see what we get, and let's hope this means I can gift something to you guys, because I want to. Perfect. So for throw number 3, I did hit gift again. Somehow my aim is extremely good at the middle today, and that does mean I am at least gifting 1 book to one of you guys. So as I've said already, drop your wish list down in the comments or over on the tweet I'll put up on Twitter, and I will pick one of you and gift you a book. I will reply to the comment of whoever it is with sort of like a present emoji, so you know you've got something on the way. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, I'm going to be stalking all of your wish lists and finding someone to gift something to, so make sure you leave them down below. So obviously that did not choose me a book, and I am still choosing 6 books this month, so I guess throw 3, take 2. Purple. And purple is already on 2, so that is another book gifted to you, so that is 2 people I'm going to find things from their wish list to gift to them. Now let's see what the prompt is. The prompt for purple is number. Okay, so for throw number 3, the prompt I got is number, and what I'm doing for this is I'm going to put something out on Twitter asking people to send me 2 numbers, one which is 0 to 15, which is kind of all the shelves I have that have unread books on them, and then a number between 0 and like 20 or something. I'm going to roughly count how many books are on a shelf, but I think it's rarely more than 20, and I'm going to scroll through and pick one of those comments, read that book, I guess, as long as it's unread. If it's a reread, I'll just pick another number. So I will come back to you in just a second when I have some numbers to work with. Okay, so I got a lot of responses to that, a lot quicker than I expected. So I am going to do a random scroll through and pick a comment, and then we're going to read that book. Okay, so hopefully my phone screen is going to be here. I don't know if this screen record will work. We're trying, but we're going to scroll and we're going to go with that one. Okay, so the one we're going with is from Hope at Jackalope Hope. So obviously thank you to them. And we're going with 13-4. So shelf number 13 is actually the top shelf of my book cart. The way I did it is that I've got 2 6-shelf bookcases over there. So that was 1 through 6, 7 through 12, and then 13, 14, 15 for my book cart. So I'm gonna go to the top shelf of my book cart and get the 4th book. So it seems that fate is on my side today, as the 4th book on the top shelf of my book cart was kind of guaranteed to be a good one, to be honest, because the top shelf of my book cart are like books I want to read soon. So it was definitely a lucky shelf to land on anyway. And the book I landed on is The Betrayals by Bridget Collins, which I have been dying to read. This is a recent release by Bridget Collins, who wrote The Binding, which is a book I read back in maybe 2018 and really enjoyed, maybe at the beginning of 2019 actually, I'm not sure. But this, I think, is a fantasy with a male main character at an exclusive academy tucked away in the mountains, and it has magic and exile, and I'm so intrigued, and it is the most stunning edition ever, which is not why I want to read it, but it definitely helps. So that is going on my December TBR. So thank you so much to Hope for basically choosing this book for me. Okay, so replacing the prompt on purple, we are reshuffling and we are going with, oh my gosh, that one. On to throw number 4. Okay, so throw number 4, let's see what we get. Miss. Normally I'd be annoyed at that, but I already have missed twice, and that means that is another book gifted to you guys and no punishment to me. So I am going to take the dart back and redo that throw. Okay, I really need to get a 4th book, so let's hope I actually get a prompt this time. Throw number 4, let's go. Triple dark blue. Luckily that's another book for you guys, which brings up to a grand total of 4 so far, but let's see what the prompt is. And the prompt is substitute. Okay, so this is one of the craziest prompts I have on here, and I can't believe it's come up. This is substitute. So what I am now going to do is take every single prompt off the board and replace it. That's what this means. It means substitute out every single prompt. So let's do that again. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so all the prompts are off. I'm intrigued to see what was on there. So we had poetry, hyped, booktube rec, clear tally, pet pick, which I'm so sad is coming off the board. I want this prompt to come up so bad. Poll, reread, oldest publication, and buddy read. So all of those are now out. They are going to go back in the stack to be reshuffled just in case one would come up again. Time to choose myself 10 prompts to put on this board. So the first one going on red is this one. Next, for dark orange, we are having this. Light orange next. We are going with, if I get through this without dropping them, it's going to be a miracle. That one. Next up is yellow, and that is this one. Next up is light green, I think. Wow, okay. This one. And then for dark green, let's go this. Light blue, we're going with this one. Dark blue is this one. Okay, purple is going to be this one. And then finally for pink, we're going to do the final one, and let's see what we get. Somewhere in the middle, this one. And so with every single prompt replaced, let's try again at getting my 4th book. So far we have managed to choose 3 books, and I'm gifting you guys 4 books. So let's see if I can get a 4th book for myself. Let's see. Pink. Pink is a safe colour, but let's see what the prompt is. Rep. So for prompt number 4, we did get rep, and for this is just any book with any form of representation. It could be POC rep, it could be disability rep, it could be LGBT rep. I am going to go with LGBT this time, just because I need to get the FAES and Gays book club pick in, which is The Raven Tower by Leckie. That is our December pick. Again, if you want to know more about the FAES and Gays book club, the information will be down below. But it is a book club that I help host, which reads sci-fi and fantasy LGBTQ+ fiction. And as I said, for December, we are reading The Raven Tower. I don't know much about this, but I'm pretty sure it has trans rep as well as maybe male or bisexual rep. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll read it and find out, but it definitely has a lot of LGBT rep in it, so that is going to be my pick for this one. And replacing that prompt, we are going to go with, oh gosh, we knew it was going to happen, this one. On to throw and hopefully book number 5. I just realised I said throw number 5. It's not, I've thrown way more than that, but like to choose book number 5. So let's just get straight into it. Let's see what we get. Miss. Try that again. Trying again. Think that could be gift. It is! You guys are getting lucky today. That is another gift for you guys. Can I maybe get a book though at some point? I love gifting, but I really need to know what I'm reading, so let's try this again. Purple. Purple. And purple is +1. So I'm just leaving the camera for this one. +1 normally means add a throw and therefore add a book, but in December I've already said that I'm not adding any, I'm only doing 6. So we're just gonna change this for another prompt, or do I just do 7 books? Am I going to regret this? I'm almost certainly going to regret this, but I'm adding a book. I'm breaking my own rules. We're going to try for 7 books and I'm going to replace this prompt. And so that prompt is being replaced with this one. Okay, throwing again. Let's see what we get. Dark blue again. Let's see what it is this time. It is Pet Pick. It made it back onto the board. Okay, so somehow through the whole substitute, Pet Pick did make it back onto the board, which I am thrilled about, and it has finally come up. I've been waiting for this. I do have 2 dogs, in case anyone doesn't know, Obi and Tumi. They are Finnish Laplands. They are very fluffy. I am going to go and find them, have a few books, put some treats on those books, and they are going to get to choose what book I read. Let's go. Okay, so these are the first 3 books. We have A Beautifully Foolish Endeavour by Hank Green, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas, and Running with Lions by Julian Winters. We are going to get dog number 1. They are out here waiting. Dog number 1, Tumi, is going to come in. Whichever she sniffs or eats first is the book that she will choose. We will then do the same for Obi, and then one of them, they want the food, and then one of them will choose what book I'm actually reading. Okay, so let's see which dog walks in first. It is actually Obi. And he has completely missed the fact that there is a treat for him. Obi, I know you are old. Oh, is that? He's kicked the treat out of the way. Obi, which book? This is not helpful. Which book was that treat associated with?
The first one he ate was this one, I think.
The middle one?
Yeah.
Okay, Obi has chosen A Court of Wings and Ruin, we think. Okay, so the options for Tumi are These Violent Lights by Chloe Gong, The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden, Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, and we are going to let her in. She is actually going second because she didn't come in the first time, see what she chooses.
She's got a bone, man.
Oh, for God's sake. This is why you don't work with dogs. She is refusing to come inside. She has got distracted by her bone. We love Tumi, but she's not the most intelligent dog in the world. There we go. We have Tumi. Which book are you choosing? These Violent Delights? Thank you. Are you now eating all the treats? Good job, good job. Okay, so that was a little bit more chaotic than I expected, but thank you to my 2 special guests, Obi and Tumi, for choosing. I'm actually just going to choose between the 2 because trying to corral them when they're excited about treats is not easy. So, Obi chose me A Court of Wings and Ruin, and Tumi chose me These Violent Lights by Chloe Gong. So, although I do actually want to read both of these in December if I can, I am going to go with These Violent Lights by Chloe Gong. I originally got an arc of this and I haven't reviewed it yet, so I need to read this now I have the physical copy and get it reviewed. So I am probably going to try and read this one in December. And replacing that prompt, we are going with this one. Let's get me a 6th book. Okay, let's get me a 6th book. I'm not aiming anywhere, we're just going to throw and see what I get. So let's go. Light blue. And it's a double light blue, which does bring it up to having got it more than 3 times, and that's another gift for you guys. LGBT. Okay, so the 6th prompt is LGBT, a prompt I will never mind getting as it's one of my favourite genres of book to read. And I did consider putting a contemporary on here, but I'm actually going with this because this is one I'm determined to read before the end of the year. That's The Beautifully Foolish Endeavour by Hank Green. The main character in this is bisexual, if the same main character is in this book as the previous one, and there was a female-female relationship, at least shown clearly in the first book, so I'm hoping it continues in this one. So I'm going with this. I read the first book last month, which was a reread, and loved it. I'm determined to finish this duology this year, so this is going on the TBR. And this follows, or at least the first book follows April May, who is sort of responsible for discovering a alien being, a statue in the middle of New York, which seems to come out of nowhere, and it's kind of a first contact with aliens and social media fame story. Very interesting, I really enjoyed it, very intrigued to read the sequel. And then replacing the prompt for probably the last time, let's see what we get. This one. And then hopefully the final throw. Okay, so for the final throw, let's see what we get. Light orange. And this is 5-star. Okay, so the final prompt, the final throw did get me 5-star prediction, and I do actually have a video up on my channel which is some 5-star predictions, so I just looked back at that video and have chosen one of those books. I have chosen Running with Lions by Julian Winters. I'm really excited for this book, and I'm really glad to get a little bit of contemporary on this TBR so it's not completely fantasy heavy. And I'm really excited. This is like an LGBT sports romance, I think. I don't know exactly, but I'm very intrigued to find out what it is. It's YA contemporary, and that's kind of perfect for right now. So that's the final book going on my official Dart Attack TBR. I will say though, there are 2 other books I'm hoping to read this month, one being Days of Blood and Starlight for READALONG, which I already mentioned. I will definitely be reading this in December as I am hosting a read-along for this series, but I'm not complaining about that at all as I love this series. And then I'm also planning to read The Bear and the Nightingale by Katherine Arden. I'm going to be buddy reading this with Amber from Books and Amber, and I think also Kerry from Kerry Louise Reads at some point in December, just as a sort of Christmas buddy read as it's a series we all want to start. So I'm going to be trying to get to this one as well. So that is it for this video. That is my TBR for the month. I am actually really happy about it. Almost all of them are books I wanted to read, but also it's definitely pushing me to pick up some ones I wouldn't necessarily if I didn't do this game, which is exactly what we want. So I am super excited for that. There will also be The Raven Tower and Saga with those. This is quite a chunky TBR. It's probably a little bit more than I anticipated, but I do think it's an amount I can get through even when I'm moving. If not quite, then so be it. But I will also have at least a sort of few days around Christmas where I'm not doing anything. So lots of reading will happen then, hopefully. But that's it for the video. And also, I think if I've done my maths correctly, I am going to be gifting 6 different books, so please make sure to leave your wish list down below or over on Twitter because that's where I'm going to be getting them from. And yeah, 6 of you will be getting some Christmas / just for fun as a thank you for supporting Dart Attack gift. And I'm really excited to do this. I'm definitely going to be trying to find some of my favourite books on people's wish lists, or honestly just anything I think sounds good, or it might just be completely random. I don't know how I'll choose yet, but why not? It's the season to gift things, and I love an excuse to gift things. I'm also in a very fortunate position where I do have the money and the resources to be able to do this, and I know a lot of people aren't in that situation, so I thought it would just be a nice thing to do. So yeah, make sure you leave your wish lists because otherwise I won't know to be able to send you something. But that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I have so much fun doing these videos every single month, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below. What are you reading this month? Are you excited? Subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me and keep up my Dart Attack videos, which I am doing every month, carrying on. But that's it for this video, so bye, and I'll see you in the next one.